Yeah, check this out. Stay Motivated Podcast Season 5. It's your host, your homie, Terry, a.k.a. Tobin Frost, a.k.a. Young Denzel Washington, a.k.a. Mr. Pop That Champagne for my pain. Listen, y'all, I got the legend. He finally here. I got my dog, my folk, my people. Cordereau, what's up, bro?
What's going on, my brother? It's good to see you, man.
Man, it's wonderful to see you, man. So introduce yourself to the audience. Tell them where to follow you at, where to find you. And it's way up, bro.
Let's do it. Absolutely, man. Cordereau Dye, former child actor, entrepreneur, franchise owner, family man, man of God. You can follow me on Instagram at Cordereau, Cordereau, the letter M, Dye, D-Y-E. Or my YouTube, Cordereau, Work in Progress, Dereau, Work in Progress, all together.
Man, it's on now, baby.
Let's do it.
So, man, before we get started, how the family doing?
Everybody's doing great, man. I got 3 children, man. 6-year-old daughter, 2-year-old daughter, and 1-year-old son. I'm blessed beyond measure, man.
Yes, sir. You staying busy?
Yes.
For sure. That's good, man. And your brothers, man. I ain't seen your brothers in so long, man.
Man, they doing great, man.
Yeah.
I just spoke to Black,
my
right
man, Black.
We talking about taking over the city.
My man, that sounds like Black.
Then I'm meeting Mike right after.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we gonna link up, man.
Big
so
Mike.
We still
It's still up.
In.
So, man, let's get the party started. So, let's talk about your upbringing, your childhood, man. How was it growing up in the city, bro?
Interesting, man. So I only spent a portion of my life in Charlotte. So I had a unique upbringing. So I lived in 4 different states by the time I was 6 years old.
Damn.
So my family's from Charlotte, born in Charlotte, but we initially lived in Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
So my dad worked for United Way, campaign director for United Way. So he actually still got the record for the highest campaign contribution in the city of Charlotte. I think it's $29 million.
Whoo.
That's what I'm cut from.
Okay.
But so 2 years in Denver, 2 years in Nashville, Tennessee, 2 years in Rochester, Minnesota, all moving based upon his job. And then we moved back to Charlotte.
Oh, so you saw what the grind looked like.
Absolutely. So I spent the age of 6 to 18 in Charlotte. Yeah, so I had a different type of viewpoint. I had a different vantage point than a lot of people from the city because I had seen a lot more.
Right.
You know what I mean? But definitely still rep.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a song repping.
Yeah, absolutely. My city.
Yeah, but for sure. So acting, where did that idea come from?
It was honestly just something that was ordained. It was something I was blessed with, brother. Like, it's something I always took an interest in. Thank God my parents supported it.
Right.
So I did my first production at like age of 4. So parents were in church. They saw an audition for a program called Hide 'Em in Your Heart, Steve Green. So it's basically children reading scriptures. Right? So it's still on YouTube. We got 1 million views on YouTube. Came out in 1991. So I ended up getting a part in that. And that was my foray into the entertainment business.
Right.
So I initially started off as a comedic actor, believe it or not.
Okay.
I was into impressions. I was into comedy. So like, man, I knew all of the bits from like Eddie Griffin, Jim Carrey, Eddie Murphy, my brother Orlando Jones. And so I started out in comedy, and my mom ended up getting me into the Children's Theater of Charlotte. So went to the Children's Theater of Charlotte, was doing little plays and productions there like 7, 8 years old. The instructor at Children's Theater, her name was Joni Starr. And I guess she saw something in me. She referred me to a talent agent, Tommy Jones. So I got a talent agent, went on my first movie audition and got it. Just like that, I was an actor. So it wasn't really something that I sat down and planned. It happened so fast.
Right, so you wasn't like training so hard as a kid to become a kid actor. It just naturally happened.
No, my parents just supported what my gifts and my talents were. I would have been doing it without any of those things coming. We actually never anticipated me having I'm 10 years old, 11 years old. I got a movie career, Oprah Winfrey show calling. We never saw any of those things coming. It just happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, but it was a blessing, man. It was a crazy, wild ride.
So let's talk about the film.
Okay.
When you heard about the part, what was your mindset like?
Honestly, so my first film was a movie called Waterproof. So I did Waterproof with Burt Reynolds, Orlando Jones, and Whitman Mayo, and Janae Dubois. Right, so that's Walona from Good Times.
Gotcha.
She wrote the theme to the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
Moving on up, that's her.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? So legendary people. So my mindset for that, honestly, like I was playing a troubled young boy in DC named Nathaniel. So at the time, I was real into character acting. So this young boy was supposed to be hard. He's supposed to be tough. Supposed to be a hard head. No father figure around. And my brother, at the time, he was making his little foray into the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, he was supportive of my career. So he's like, you gonna play this character? I'm gonna make you play this character for real. You gotta have to stand in front of me and convince me that you like that.
Uh-oh.
So
big bro.
So getting past my brother, right? So the look, the feel, the talk, the walk, he helped me with a lot of that. My mom bought a tape recorder, let me practice cussing in the tape recorder.
Yeah.
This is how much support, this is how much they back
that's
me.
investment.
Yeah, exactly. So when I went in, it was already in my mind. I had the mindset that you are Nathaniel.
Right.
You just going in there to show these people. I don't care who else in this room. This is your role.
Right.
I went in there with a fake Tech 9. That's how I got the role.
That's what's up.
We in the audition, I pulled the Tech 9, the director smacked the Tech 9 out my hand, threw me in the chair. I'm still in character, wouldn't come out of character. Like I'm really in a police interrogation. Like, you don't know I'm really like that? Like,
right.
And he like, okay, man, you did it. You got it, man. We see what you did, man. Show me your other side.
Nah, I ain't got no other side.
What you mean? I didn't get out of character until I walked out the room, bro.
Man, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You gotta sell them. You sold them.
Yeah, so that's how I ended up getting a role in Waterproof. Never forget, we had a dinner when I first got to Wilmington. It was shot in Wilmington at Screen Gem Studios. I was actually the last one to get there. So all these actors already around the table. Burt Reynolds is there, Janae Dubois is there, and the person that I tripped off of seeing was Orlando Jones.
Yeah.
Right, which shocked everybody there. I'm like, bruh, I know all your Mad TV, all your sketches, all your bits, bruh. I start doing the sketches. So when the cast, when they saw me, it gave me like a sense of relevance because they was like, okay, this ain't just some kid. He's really a fan of this art form. He ain't come in here and just gravitate to the most famous person in here.
Right.
He really is a fan of what we do. This is a real performer. So I just really walked in that the whole time. I felt like coming on set, you got to understand, right? You a 10-year-old kid. So my mind was everybody's psyche, everybody's perception is, oh, this little kid, he going to
be playing around.
Oh, he don't want to do it today. Oh, he don't know his stuff. He not prepared. I was sharp every day.
Right.
I wasn't going to be the cause of wasted film.
That's what I'm talking
about. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Man, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So you get that film, and then was the next film the Jordan one?
Yes.
Man.
So the next film was Michael Jordan, an American Hero. So this is the crazy part about that film. They had a nationwide casting call for that movie where they went to Chicago, they went to LA, they went to New York, they went to Charlotte. And they were looking for Michael Jordan at age 8, 12, 16, and as a grown-up. My agent didn't even want me and my mom to go.
What?
She did not want us to go. She said, you're a real performer. That's one of those shot in the dark, one in a million, amateurs, everybody gonna line up. Don't go do that. Me and my mama went to West Charlotte. Me and her, Dolo, went out there. The line was a quarter mile around the block to get in the gym. Me and my mom said, we going to get that role. Right. We went. It was like, it was ordained by God, bro. So you come in, first thing you had to do, they had stations set up. You come in, you got to shoot, right? All right, so they throw you the ball, and they gonna have you shoot 3 basically 15-footers from the free throw line. I caught the first one. I let it go. It's no rotation on the ball. I ain't even flip it. The ball ain't even roll. Went in. Second one, same thing. I'm like, man, I'm like, my hand ain't bending. You know what I'm saying? They all went in. So I moved right past that station. So they saw that, like, man, this dude just switched 3 in a row. Then once they put the lines in my hand, I was already seasoned.
You already
had that
it was
part.
up.
So I just went in there. I nailed it. We got a call a few weeks later. Y'all going to Hollywood. Next thing I know, me, my mom, man, we in Hollywood, man. We in Hollywood in a condo. God. You know what I mean? So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And all this time, you thinking this is a normal lifestyle as a kid?
No, I wasn't necessarily thinking it was normal. It just was my life.
It was just your life.
I was doing what I loved, and it was one of the things that kind of brought my family together. Because during the time that this was going on, my parents is basically going through a breakup, divorce. So there's a lot of stuff going on because we coming on set and we got to discuss amongst ourselves. Hey, listen, y'all, we know what's going on, but let's have a united front.
Right.
So we're gonna let everybody know we a unit. So it was a lot of dynamics that were going on behind the scenes, but
that's good though.
But us going there put all of us in that same space.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not gonna waste this opportunity. Damn. You know what I mean?
Man.
So, yeah, man.
So that's definition of leadership. So you pretty much been a leader since day one.
I just look at it. You can say that, or I can look at it, bro. It's just that I traveled a road that wasn't paved.
Right.
There was no stoplights.
Right.
On that road. So
full
I had
speed.
Exactly. So you make mistakes, you do good things, you do bad things, but I look at it now and I see a lot of the child actors and we see how they fared.
Yeah.
You see a Orlando Brown, you see a Bashir Gray, you see even a Jonathan Majors, what he dealing with, Jason Mitchell, what he dealt with, right? And it can be tough to make the transition.
Right.
And I look back and I thank God that I was able to transition before the industry got through with me.
Oh yeah.
I was able to say, you know what? I think I want to do something else.
Right.
Because see, what happens is a lot of these young child stars get messed up because when you up and when you're famous, because at one point I'm not fronting, I was one of the most famous people in the city of Charlotte, if not the state of North Carolina.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what happens, right? Everywhere you go, me and my mom had to keep a big, thick booklet of my headshots to sign autographs everywhere I went. I'd be in a credit union. The people would line up, get out their line, get money, and come get autographs.
That's
right?
what's up.
But guess what happens though? When you up and when you in that space, you great. You the best thing in the world. You so talented. You so this. You so that. You start believing it. What happens after all of this plays out, and now you ain't nobody to them? So which one is true? Which one is you?
Ooh,
see what I'm saying? And that
right.
gets people confused. So what you got to be is you got to be what God said that you are. Don't believe all the people boosting your head up, and sure don't believe the people that leave and desert you when it's not all the cameras in it.
Glitz and glamour.
You're gonna be who God say you're gonna be.
So what was the most challenging part of your childhood during that time period?
Honestly, was managing fame, bro. That was something that my parents couldn't really give me any advice on or any guidance on. Who else was I gonna talk to? I was 10, 11 years old in middle school.
You was a star.
A star, right? But stars in the sky. So I didn't know how to be that. Then, people have a perception of you, right? So I tell people all the time, I kind of laugh when people say, man, I want to be famous, man. I want fame. Shit. Man, let me tell you something about fame, right? Fame is a drug. Because look at it like this. Imagine being famous, and people say when they meet people that are famous or meet people that are stars, they didn't have a good interaction with them, right?
Yeah.
Imagine the type of disadvantage that you at. If I come up to you and I know all this stuff about you, you don't know my name, you don't know nothing about me. Imagine that awkwardness.
That is awkward.
Then I come to you and I feel like you owe me. You owe me I done been watching your movies, so entertain me or do something.
Yeah.
Well,
make me laugh.
Yeah, but I'm just a regular dude. I mean, I'm eating lunch. Maybe I just don't feel like it.
Right.
Oh, you like that? Oh, okay. It's like, nah, you're just a human being.
Right.
So it can be very difficult, man. And I was in public school, bro. So like.
Yeah, you went to a little private school, like, yeah.
Yeah, so we went to Northwest, but bro, I remember one time the news came, WSOC came to Northwest and brought the cameras into the lunchroom while I was in there eating.
Man, stop playing. What was
real,
I at?
This is real. You had to be there, bro.
Man, it's crazy.
This is real talk. So like those experiences are awesome, but at the same time, you don't know how to manage all of this attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, just mentioning Michael Jace, right? And Michael Jordan movie. So Michael Jace was the actor who played Michael Jordan as an adult. Mm-hmm. And he was in movies like Great White Hype. He was in The Replacements, right? And the credits for Michael Jordan movie read Ernie Hudson, Debbie Allen, Robin Givens, Michael Jace, and myself, Cordereau Dye. Mm-hmm. So those three actors ahead are veteran actors who got dozens and dozens of credits. So they deserve that top billing. But the movie is me and his movie.
Right.
Right? So I was around this guy. There's a picture of me, him, Robin Givens, and Ernie Hudson. We at this big house, this big mansion, whatever the case may be. So I know this guy, spent time around him. We played the same character in the movie. We right next to each other in the credits.
Right.
This man is sitting in prison right now doing 40 years for murdering his wife in front of his children.
What?
Yes. This entertainment stuff is no joke. The place that it can take you to. He got convicted because the prosecution put his son on the stand, and his son heard him tell his mother, since you like to run so much, run to heaven. And he murdered her, right?
Oh.
He's in prison. I noticed that. So there's another side to this industry. There's another side to this game that I think a lot of time people just see the positive. People see the good part, and they don't know all of the things that come with
People really going through.
Absolutely.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang, my man. So, when you finish doing this film, and then the credits, all that, all the glitz and glamour is over with. What made you say, you know what, I want to transition into another industry, or I just want to do something different?
Honestly, it was so much noise. It was so much going on. It got so chaotic. It got so loud that I started to lose a love for what I initially got into it for, which was the acting.
Right.
Because of all the different things that came with it. Right. I had great experiences on set. I had a lot of fun. I worked with a who's who of actors and actresses. And so I did that to the fullest. Right. From checking those boxes for as far as success in your career.
Right.
They say the statistics show that only 2% of actors will be able to act and have that be what makes their living, that they can make a living with.
2%?
2%. I did that at 11 years old.
Ooh-wee.
So it wasn't about being successful at it, but I saw that I didn't really have the identity outside of, nobody knew me. I was so isolated. So I started saying, man, I want a regular life, man. I want to play football with my boys. You know what I'm saying? They playing for Coolwood.
Want to go
they
hoop.
They the Steelers. Yeah, I want to go
hoop or something.
Yeah,
Play
I wanted to ride bikes through my neighborhood. I didn't want to spend half of my school year in a trailer with a stack of work this big, just me and the tutor.
Right.
You want to go to school, you want to have normal experience, you want to be able to go to the prom. So I'm blessed to say that I was able to have both. I was able to live that lifestyle and decide, you know what, I'm not really this Hollywood type of guy. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
I got a good question for you. So put yourself back in that era. What if social media was around back then the way it is now? Do you think with the attention and the thing, you 10 or 11,
yeah,
you would have probably had adults following you. And then as you get 13, 14, 15, and you get up to an adult, you probably have R&B singers, actresses coming at you because you got years and years of a legacy. Do you think if social media was in place back then, you would have been able to walk away?
I think it would have been a lot harder to get off that drug called fame. I can only imagine that, especially you hitting your teen years. Because by the time Michael Jordan movie came out, I'm hitting 12, 13, 14 years old. I don't know that I would have been able to walk away. In the era that we came up in, there wasn't as much access.
Right. Everybody's life was a mystery.
Exactly.
And I think that's what take a little bit out of the fun out of it today, because back then when we saw rappers on TV, we only got to see them in videos, live concert, or if they was on Rap City.
Or access granted.
You know what I'm saying?
Video.
Now, you get to see everybody lives every day, so it's kind of like, oh, yeah, they're going so-and-so. But back then it was a mystery. Like, damn, man, I wonder what Lil Wayne doing. Lil Wayne probably, riding in his convertible Porsche with his ice on. You know what I'm saying? It was a mystery to know what, celebrities did.
I feel like we lost a lot of that mystique.
Yeah.
That was appealing.
That was it.
Right? But now you so ingrained in, or you can witness their daily lives. Right. And it's like it took something away from being whatever you want to call, quote unquote, a star or a celebrity. Because now with social media, you can be a star or celebrity overnight.
Yeah.
You used to have to work your way through those, and those channels weren't available, right? So now, just like with rap and with music, like you said, you can jump on YouTube, you're a rapper.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to go through no type of training. You don't have to get co-signed.
No A&R, none of that.
None of that.
Yeah, You hop on, get your crew, show some money. Y'all put together y'all rent money, throw it a little bit, make sure you pick it up afterwards. And hey, it's up, man. You doing it. So
absolutely, bro.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a good question, man, just because the amount of attention that is out there on social media.
Yes.
It can consume you.
Absolutely.
So all right, so look, you living a regular life. You're a teenager. Mm-hmm. Where we going next?
So the next stage of me was to start building the life that I wanted, and not the one that was expected of me.
Right.
So I got into DECA. Right. I went to Vance. I ended up being the executive vice president of my DECA chapter.
Man, that's solid.
Went to nationals my senior year, and I basically parlayed that into my college. Right. So my matriculation there. So I ended up leaving Charlotte in 2005. Once I graduated high school, went to Virginia.
Yeah.
So went to Hampton University. Crazy thing about it, the whole 4 years I was at Hampton, I didn't do any productions. I didn't do any films. I didn't do any plays. I just was a student.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was friends with like all of the ball players. It was like my close friends.
Right.
So I just enjoyed being a normal college student and having that lifestyle, right? And I felt like that suited me more.
Yeah.
Than all of the fame. I never minded the autonomy and the anonymity. I didn't want all of the attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got out of school, ended up getting into corporate America, spent 10 years in corporate America, had a really successful career. I worked for one of the largest media company in the state of Virginia at the time, which is called Pilot Media. So I won an award called President's Club there, which is basically you're one of the top 10 sales representatives at the company. I was the youngest person in the history of the company ever won that. I won that at 27. So I had a lot of success, but once again, success didn't bring the fulfillment.
Right.
Right? Because when you're in sales, it's all about you. It's all about lining your pockets.
Right.
I was able to do that well, but I felt discontent. I wake up in the morning feeling like I know I can do more than this.
Right.
So I started looking for different outlets, and so I ended up getting involved in United Way, just like my pop. Came back to him.
Yeah.
And did the United Way campaign. Found this neighborhood right across the street from this big corporate building. They didn't even have a playground there in their neighborhood. It's called PB Young Elementary School that they went to elementary school with. The school was in the neighborhood, in the housing project. So I went over there. We raised money for them. I went over there, start tutoring. I did that for like 3 years. I ended up winning Tutor of the Year. And it was like, that took me on the next part of my journey, which was working with the youth.
Right.
So from there, ended up, getting married, and my wife, she was involved with this franchise called Amazing Athletes. Mm-hmm. So that's a national franchise, national sports-based youth franchise. So we ended up getting married. We ended up moving from where she was in Richmond, moving to Hampton Roads, and we started running it together. It ended up being something more for me than was for her.
Yeah.
She went in a different direction in her career. She went to collegiate athletics. I started working with youth.
Right.
And man, this has been such a blessing for me, because to have the opportunity to put all of these lessons and all of this game into young people, right? Because they're only going to do what they know.
That's
and they're
right.
going to emulate somebody.
Right.
And so we got to be those examples, right? So a lot of time we always talk about leaders. We say, where the leaders at? We the leaders. Ain't nobody coming.
Nobody else coming.
That's it, man.
So I'm going to ask you this question, just because, and I asked one of my previous guests this question. I done seen, like, throughout the years, your journey, right?
Right.
And one thing I can say from, just from me, this ain't nobody else saying, I've always had the utmost respect, because you always carried yourself in, like, the classiest way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate
and
that.
I think a lot of people lose, like, what the impact is of classiness, right?
Right.
So we done seen your journey. We done tried different industries, things like that. So right now, I'm gonna ask you: have you think you unlocked your highest potential, like the best version of yourself, or you think you got a ways to go, or you don't even know what that look like?
I think we all constantly evolving, brother. I think so. I think at this stage, I've only started to scratch the surface of my potential is. of what my potential is. And so I live by this, you know, it's something to be great. It's nothing to be famous. So I want to live a life of substance. I don't want to live a life it's about me.
Right.
You know, so one of the quotes that my dad always gives me is, you don't want to live your whole life and get to the end of it and realize that it was never about you.
That's right.
So now I'm about being of service, right? So thank God I've had a little taste of fame. I've had success. Thank God he's blessed me and anointed me to have success in anything that I endeavored into.
Right.
Now I want to put that and I want to give back.
Right.
And I want to be of service to other people.
And that's like the biggest thing that I kind of like base my mentality off of. It's always about us.
That's right.
Right? You know the old saying that there's no I in team, but it's an I in win. So, you know what I'm saying?
That's a Kobe quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no I in team, but it's an I in win. So if we win, I win.
That's right.
And I think that pointing to the youth is such a challenge.
Yes.
Because it's a everyday reality check, right? So I had one kid that I mentored for a couple years. I'm still trying to get in contact with him. Mentored for a couple of years. He went through, a tough childhood. And I remember one day he told his teacher that I was his dad.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. And he told the student, yeah, that's my dad. He knows that he didn't know his dad. And the teacher would call me and say, hey, he messing up again, he acting up again. I'm like, man, how do I get through this kid? So I take him out to eat, do this, do that. And I'm like, man, it gotta be a lifestyle change.
That's right.
So you can take a kid out and, take him to a Hornets game and buy him clothes. But when he got to go home to a dysfunctional environment, it's just hard as a kid to like, well, I was with Mr. Darrow today, and man, we had a good time, but then he going back to dysfunction.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, how's your approach towards the youth when it comes to like troubled kids?
Honestly, I just try to plant seeds. I just try to give them what I can in that moment because depending on the situation or the setting, I may never see that young person again.
Yeah.
And I may not even be there. Chances are I'm not going to be there to see the seed that I planted even get watered. But I did my part, and I'm going to let God do the rest.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think with the youth, we think that if they have something negative happen or if they have something that we perceive as bad, that's a crash out. Sometimes that's the way that God can get you back to your calling.
Right.
Sometimes you got to go through, so it's all a part of their journey. We see people go to prison, come out and mentor, become successful people, and then they say, I never would have gotten here if I didn't go through this road.
If I didn't go through that storm.
So that's what I try to look at is like, you know what? Just give them what you can and let God give the rest. So when I deal with them, I always just ask God, just lead me. Just show me what you want me to do.
Right.
I do it without hesitation. I just want to make sure it don't come from me.
Right.
What I think. Because who am I? Right? I can't tell nobody how to live. I can't tell nobody. So anything that I do, I just want to be a vessel.
Right.
Right? And so God, once you're in that space and you allowing God to use you, it takes all the pressure and all the stress away because you feel that you know that you're not responsible.
Right.
I'm just going to do what you called me to do, and then I'm going to go on.
Right.
If you call me to come back and do something else, I will.
I'll come back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's man, hey, look, that was free game for me, man.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I take it personal.
Absolutely.
Damn, man, I'm not getting through to these kids. I'm not getting through to the youth. So,
and sometimes they have a delayed reaction with them. You may think that you're not getting through with them to them. You may think that they didn't listen, but they heard you and they'll apply it later on down the road.
Yeah, they'll come back.
That's right.
It'll come back. So I'm gonna ask you this question.
Yes,
This is
sir.
another good one. How has fatherhood, being a father, changed your life?
Wow. Fatherhood showed me that there was so much more to life than my own selfish pursuits or my own agenda, right? Like once you have these people, being a parent changes you in a way because you've never been needed in this way before.
Right.
It activates something in you. Even when you get married and you have your spouse, right? I got a beautiful wife who is God-fearing and extremely motivated, driven, right? And we need each other, right? But she doesn't really need me in the extent that she's still a grown woman.
Right.
So at the end of the day, God forbid, if I wasn't around, she'd be able to take care of herself.
Right.
But this person, they can't feed themselves.
Right.
They can't get to where they need to go, right? So it's a level of care, right? And then, honestly, I feel like being a parent helps you to have so much more appreciation for your parents.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many things that you don't know. It's so many things that you have no idea. I see sometimes me and my wife be sitting up talking, dealing with whatever we dealing with. We like, goodness, great. All right, we got to sit down. We got to figure this out. And we turn and look at them, and they ain't got a care in the world.
Right.
They over there jumping, playing, and we say they have no idea.
They don't know what's going on.
Now I get to see what it's like. So a lot of people that have issues with their parents or have strained relationships, always tell them, honestly, you their best work. You their best work. So if you mad at them, look in the mirror. If you okay with what you see, they did their job.
Right.
Because guess what? You gonna see what it's like when it's your turn. Regardless of whatever they did, they didn't do. Can you do what they did? If you on feet and you a strong person, you can handle what life throw at you. Let me see you raise up a person to do the same thing. That's when you can understand what it's like.
Right.
To be your parents.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, I think it's every day is a different day, right? My OG always say, man, you never know what's gonna happen, good or bad. And I think that consistency that you have, I think that's what keeps you having that drive for excellence.
That's right.
And I always tell people, yeah, I'm gonna ask you this: what's your thoughts on perfection, right? Because my mom taught me a long time ago. She gave me a quote. She said, "I'll never be perfect, but I always strive for perfection." Right? So I try to instill that, whether it's at work, whether it's, with friends or whatever. Never wake up and say, I'm going to give 97% today and leave the 3% on the table. There got to be a desire for perfection, even though we're not going to be perfect.
That's right.
So what's your thoughts on unlocking perfection?
I think you unlock perfection through failing. You got to fail. That's one of my bars. You got to fail because perfection is more frustrating, right? So getting outside of your comfort zone and putting yourself in positions where you're going to fail, or you may fail, or it's probable, or it's likely, is the way that you grow. So nothing grows inside of your comfort zone. You can be perfect within there, but that's a small box, right? So I think every day we wake up, it's about just being a little bit better than we were the day before.
Right.
So you got to push yourself outside of what your skill set may be, outside of what you feel competent in. And you got to throw yourself in different things. You got to stretch. And that's the way I think that you become the most perfect version of yourself.
God, boy, I'm going to cut that clip up.
I ain't trying to sound like a shaman in this show, you know what I mean? But yeah.
I'm cutting that clip up.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm cutting this one up, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's so deep, man, just because, it's easy to be perfect in one small area that you're mastered at.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's easy. Oh, yeah, I got this. But to unlock that comfort zone is uncomfortable.
That's right. And that's what the truly great people do, right? That's why we see Michael Jordan playing baseball. That's why we see Andre 3000 playing the flute.
Right.
And everybody say, man, why don't you don't just rap? Why don't you don't just play ball? Because they understand that to be truly great, you got to put yourself in things that you're not great at.
Right.
Can you be great over again?
Right.
Because it's a certain amount of boredom when you master something. It's like you want to try something else. Try something I'm terrible at. Can I become good at that?
Right.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on what our community need to improve on?
Oh man, how much time you got?
Hey, hey, we gotta ask the engineer.
Yeah. So, I'll put it this way. I mean, there's so much that we need to do, right? But if I would simplify it, it would first obviously just be for more of us to be involved in the youth. It takes a village. And not everybody has that example in their household.
Right.
So what I see within the school systems, when I go in there and I see all of these rowdy children and there's no order, I can look up and I know there ain't no man around here. Right. And when I walk in and I see a man. You remember how it was when we was in school? You ain't want to go see Mr. Johnson. You ain't want to go see Mr. Greg.
Right.
Right. There's order there. So a lot of these children, they have 100% feminine influence. Right. Then we wonder why these children act crazy because they don't have no examples. The women doing their part. Right. As men, we got to step in. Right. So I think that's first is investing more into the youth. Second, there's on social media, let's put it like this. We real creative, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody balling.
Everybody, but
stats don't lie.
I think I'm Big Meat. Larry Hoover.
But stats don't lie, bro. Only 6% of our community make over $100,000 a year. Whew. It don't look like that on Instagram.
Oh, nah.
But that's the real, right?
Yeah. It's like 94% making over 100 million. That's right. What it looks like.
Exactly. Only 22% of black males are college educated, right? And an even more alarming stat, only 2% of all of the businesses owned in the U.S. are black owned. So we got a lot of ground to make up, right?
Right.
So everybody talking about boycotts. I've been seeing all these boycotts, right? So when you see these Chinese food restaurants, you see these beauty supply stores in the hood, and we say, man, ain't nothing in the hood, ain't no money, ain't no opportunity. Them restaurants and beauty supply stores make $500,000 a year.
They banking.
That's it don't look like it, right? You walk in there, you wouldn't think it because the way we think, we get 4 bands and we get a Maserati.
Oh yeah, right? I'm going to get one. I'm getting a white one and a blue one.
Yeah, so they got that quiet money. So it's plenty money. It's plenty money in our neighborhoods.
Right.
Right? So we got to start getting together and we got to start doing more of what we did right after slavery.
Right.
Which was entrepreneurial ventures, because we see what's happening with DEI. We see what's happening with these jobs, and we can complain, but what we seeing power.
Right.
Right. So you can get mad, you can complain, say, I don't like this person. That ain't gonna change the fact that they can impact your life with the stroke of a pen. Boop. So what you gonna do?
Right.
Your complaint ain't gonna do nothing. Put yourself in a position of power. Disconnect yourself from that need. Right. I remember Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, got in trouble. Or they said he got in trouble one day. He said something about a certain community, and they brought him on and said, we want you to apologize. He said, I ain't got to apologize because I'm not dependent on your platform. That's power.
Yeah.
Feel what I'm saying? So I think we got to do more of that. So if you don't mind, my brother, I want to take the opportunity right now. I want to plug 2 black-owned businesses that I just patronized that just recently since I've been back in Charlotte. One is Sneak up on 7th Street. So my homie Jamil and his wife, they just opened that lounge, beautiful, classy.
Sneak, okay.
Yeah. So
okay, I'm pulling up.
Absolutely. Second one, Timeless Cuts, right on Beatties Ford Road, right by Bitsy Bounty, Beatties Ford and Avenue B. My cousin Martikas just opened that, right? So
pulling up.
But that ain't just a barbershop. I just went through that just today. He's giving the youth and he's giving the people walking in there game and lessons on how to live while he's giving a haircut. That used to be what our cuts were about before. Right. It was $100 pop. Used to get something from your barber. He used to give you game. A lot of time he was the OG. He maybe didn't got in trouble, whatever case may be.
Right.
He used to pour into you. So that's what he's doing there, and he's doing it in an area where a lot of us don't want to come. A lot of us don't want to come down. You know what I'm saying? But my grandmama lived right behind that Bitsy Bounty. So I'm proud of him, and I appreciate him being a leader in the community. Say, I go there and I go set up there. You know what I mean? So I think we got to do more of that. So I just wanted to plug those 2. But I would say that's what we got to do. We got to reinvigorate this entrepreneurial spirit within us and just try. A lot of people say, well, entrepreneurship ain't for everybody. But how you know if something is for you or not if you haven't even
You got to put the effort in.
You know what I mean?
The great Ray Lewis once said, I'm always going to have a Ravens quote.
Yeah.
The great Ray Lewis once said, effort, results. The only thing that follows effort is results.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Effort and results. And I think another thing we're missing in our community, especially black men, is the respect factor, right? Mm-hmm. You don't always have to like somebody. We get it. Everybody don't get along. Everybody don't have the same vibe. Mm-hmm. But the great Ray Lewis once said, the theory of respect is to not disrespect, right? So, I don't have to disrespect you because I don't like you or we don't vibe, we don't get. And I think as men, there has to be a a bridge in the gap because it's so much animosity there, right? And like you said, the women, they doing their job.
That's right.
But I think we're in a space right now where black men, black women, it's so chaotic going at each other on social media right now. It's at an all-time high. I mean, I'm like, yo, chill.
It's all about the mindset, brother. Think about this, right? We see all of these dating scenarios on social media, right? Mm-hmm. I want you to just think about this for a second. They walk in there and they popping balloons, right? Right? We seeing this. They saying, "Oh, I don't like your shoes. I don't like your swag." They popping balloons, right?
Right.
And they arguing. They going back and forth. Think about what you got right there for a second. You got all these diverse black people in the same setting at the same time. It's up to you what you gonna talk about. But y'all want to talk about some high school stuff when y'all could be building right there.
Right.
This person, what are you? Oh, this person an engineer. Oh, this person an entrepreneur. Oh, this person of this person of that. That's the setting right there.
Right.
But it's what you gonna do with the time. We choose to use the time to do something that's not gonna benefit us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then speaking on respect, the youth, man, they're the ones that we gotta really ingrain that into, man, because especially our young men, because we know we don't play by the same rules. And once respect lines is crossed, that's it.
Yep.
Somebody got to go.
Yep.
And this is what we see over and over. So we got to teach them and we got to train them to control the things that come out of their mouth. That's what we see with a lot of these young people. That's why we see people crashing out. It's about what somebody has said or somebody disrespected somebody. Like I always say, you test a soldier honor, it's going to be drama.
Yep.
He going to say, yes, your honor. No, your honor. You feel me? So it's real.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way. Yeah, man, I think, look, hopefully this episode steer us in the right direction, man.
I hope so.
I hope so. I hope we can make something happen. Yeah.
Bro. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, man, you got any anything you want to tell the audience about what you got plans moving forward in your life?
Yeah, so I got more plans to be active in this community and here where I'm from, my home base. So I've been very active up in Virginia in the Hampton Roads area. So I plan to come back and look to invest more in the local community that I'm from. I want to pay it forward. And I may even end up circling back around to my original career.
Yep.
So once I get some of these things, get some of these things I'm juggling, we may see.
We got to link up and do some stuff.
Man, that's a given, bro.
Oh man,
every time we do it's epic.
Hey, you know what? I'm not even gonna tap on everything because you got to come back. You got to come back. So we got a whole bunch of stuff we haven't even talked about yet.
No,
we're gonna have to save some of that stuff.
We gotta save some, yeah.
Yeah. Before I let you go,
yes, sir.
I got a couple questions for you.
Absolutely, brother.
Kobe or Jordan?
Jordan.
I knew it.
Rest in peace.
I knew it.
But guess what? I don't say that because of the Michael Jordan thing. I've been in a 3-4 year argument with one of my friends about Jordan and Scottie Pippen. I believe Scottie Pippen was the biggest catalyst to the Bulls' success. Not that Jordan ain't the greatest, but so it's not. So when I say Jordan over Kobe, no disrespect to Kobe, but just I think his measurables, right? His hand size, right?
Yeah.
He had physical gifts that were real rare. That Kobe didn't
very
have.
rare.
He palmed the ball. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ball still being in his hand, you jump.
Yeah.
It's different.
He over your head, and then he dunking on you or something crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. 2-sport guy, Deion or Bo Jackson? Without injuries being just both at their peak. Or is it a fair question at all?
I gotta say Deion.
Yeah?
Only reason I say Deion is because 94 Deion with the 49ers is the greatest defensive player I have ever seen in my life.
We gotta be careful, but keep going.
And Ray. No, that's ferociousness. That's, you know what I mean?
Don't get me started with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, boy. I ain't gonna start something.
Then playing for the Braves too, so I say Deion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm with that. Vic or Lamar? I know you've been in Virginia.
Yeah.
Vic or Lamar?
It's a tough one. I ran into Vic at a Ties game too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Lamar.
Yeah, my man.
Lamar is like a new improved version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Denzel or Michael B. Jordan? Or is that too easy?
Denzel.
Okay.
Michael B. Jordan got a lot of work to do. Yeah. Talented brother though. Creed 3 was crazy, but he got to spend another 30 years.
Yeah, I don't think I could compare nobody to Denzel. I think that's the last time I'm gonna ask that question. He's just, I mean,
softball, yeah.
He's Jordan, man.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna give you a couple more, man, before we wrap up.
Right.
If it's a 2-on-2 game, T-Mac and Grant Hill versus Bron and D Wade, both all healthy. T-Mac, Grant Hill versus Bron, D Wade, 2-on-2. Peak prime of their careers.
Man, I gotta go Bron, D Wade.
Against prime T-Mac, prime Grant?
That's a tough one, bro. Only reason is because, for one, obviously LeBron is the best athlete on the court.
Yeah.
For prime LeBron. And for two, D Wade as a shot blocker. I think he can handle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was
as a guard,
elite as a shot blocking guard. So I like his defensive chances with two crazy athletes in Grant Hill and T-Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he can contain them enough for LeBron to pull it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got you on that one.
Yeah.
All right, last one I'm gonna do.
All
last
right.
but not least.
Let's see.
Man, please don't let me down, bro.
Here we go.
Gucci or Jeezy?
Jeezy.
Okay, we good. I knew my brother was gonna come through.
Much love to Guwap.
Yeah, I like Guwap too, man.
Jeezy the first time
dog,
when we was in high school and they was playing Trap or Die at parties, the whole club knew Trap or Die front to back. Man. I never seen that for a mixtape. I never seen that.
Man, when I was at A&T, my freshman year, I've never seen anything like it before. I remember when I think it was 2002, 2003, when 50 Cent first hit the scene.
Yeah.
I remember I went to Virginia Beach one year to holler at my uncle for like a little party or something. I never seen anything like it. Like Virginia Beach, they had the police on horses and the strip was just crazy.
Yeah, man, I love it.
But my freshman year, A&T, Jeezy, boy, I ain't never seen nothing like that, dog.
And so Ice set Gucci off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Jeezy wasn't on that, he got a different career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it was what a time to be alive.
Man, it ain't never gonna see another era like that.
Nah, never. But bro, you got anything else you want to let the audience know? You want to promote or anything? Because when you come back, it's up again.
It's up. One thing I want to tell the audience. In my high school biology class, it was 4 of us, right? And we talked a lot about what we wanted to do in life, right? So one of them name's Mia. She's a chiropractor right now in Charlotte. Other one named Leandra. She's a practicing lawyer. She's got a law degree in 2 states. Other boy, TK, he went up to Minnesota. He's a corporate executive. And myself, I'm a franchise owner and community advocate. So I say all that to say, at one point, we were just high school kids, right? But we believed in ourselves and we didn't stop until we reached our goals. So the one thing I would leave with everybody wouldn't be to plug anything. It would be to say, make sure that the number one trait and component that you have is grit over your intelligence, over your talent. You're going to need to be able to push through when things get difficult to see your goals become realized. And also make sure you got the right people around you, not yes men, yes women, the people that's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, and the people that's not going to allow you to be mediocre. We got to ingrain that into the youth, having goals and not stopping until you fulfill them. Signing off.
Yeah. Drop the mic.
Yeah.
Well, bro, I appreciate you rocking with me, man, and until next time, man, it's up, bro.
Absolutely, my brother.
Man, love you, dog.
Yeah, love you too, man.
So, we out.